failure.
Let's do this.
Go!
Welcome to the Defeationist. We got a special episode. We call it the DLC-Tionist. I don't know what that means, but hey, let's get it started. With the DLC-Tionist, we're going to talk about the DLCs of certain games when we get a chance to. That being said, welcome to the Resident Evil version of the DLC-Tionist. And mind you, I'm only going to do DLCs for episodes that I've already done because, it wouldn't make sense for me to do episodes that I didn't do. So, have fun with that, guys.
Ironic.
Alright, to start off with the DLC, we got Banned Footage Volume 1 and Volume 2. The first of the three scenarios in the Banned Footage DLC features a protagonist named Clancy Jarvis, who appears in some of the VSH tips from the main game that you can find. Clancy was the cameraman, I think I said Clancy, who worked with the Sewer Gators, the web series from the beginning of the game, that very cool moment where you can find something in the tapes and it actually works out in the main stuff. That's exactly what happened. The Sewer Gators come to film the abandoned house in which Clancy, I don't know why I keep saying Clancy, was caught and knocked out by Lucas, leading to the events of 21. Clancy awakens in an unknown room with his left hand strapped to a finger guillotine opposite of him. Stuck in the same predicament is an unknown man whose face is covered by a burlap sack, and Lucas simply refers to him as Hoffman. Lucas forces both men to play a modified game of blackjack. Have fun with that. In Daughters is set on October 2014, in which Zoe is watching a news broadcast about the hurricane that's happening outside, obviously. And she sees that a ship is missing. Jack finds a young Evelyn, having rescued her from the crashed ship in the swamp, and takes her up to Lucas's old room while asking Zoe to get her some clean clothes. And in case there's an oil spill, Zoe does so, only to witness Evelyn wake up and state they're mine now. Before there is a power outage in the house, and Zoe attempts to find Evelyn, but encounters Lucas unconscious. Margaret happens to succumb to the infection, and spewing insects from her house, and various things happening, in which you gotta avoid Jack Baker, and various things like Marguerite and her bugs, and happen to get to the real ending. Have fun with that, guys. Not a Hero is actually the only thing that has something to do with somebody from the past, in which you take control of BSAA agent Chris Redfield, and he teams up with the now reformed Umbrella, in which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't trust, but it's also known as Blue Umbrella, in order to apprehend Lucas Baker, which leads to some various mind-bending puzzles. And he's looking for the group also named The Connections, because Lucas has been working with them to kind of go through the whole game. It's a whole twist that I don't want to spoil here. You might as well look at the regular review so I can kind of hint at it a little bit. Even though right now I'm clearly lying, I don't hint at it at all, because I don't do fun hours no more. Pretty much from here, Chris Redfield runs into the traps of Lucas, because Lucas is the guy who kind of had a bunch of the traps set up and the puzzle set up in the game. And you go through them with Chris Redfield, and it does become a first-person shooter most likely, but it's still kind of survival horror because there's a lot of stuff you have to do. And lastly, we have End of Zoe, aka first-person Street Fighter Simulator, aka Balrog Simulator, aka one of my favorite DLCs in this game. Pretty much it follows the ending of the game, which I'm not going to spoil here, where Zoe wanders into the swamp and is apparently killed by Evelyn. However, a pair of Umbrella soldiers find her body while she is still alive, and they are ambushed by Joe Baker, Zoe's uncle, who lives in the swamps that's not far, and he has not been affected by Evelyn's mold. Joe initially believes Umbrella is responsible for what Zoe looks like, which she does look pretty cool, but the surviving Umbrella soldier claims that they have a cure for Zoe's story stored in a nearby shack. And Joe goes to find the shack and finding the cure, and you return to find the Umbrella soldiers killed, in which you finally get to see what happened to one of the bosses of the game. I'm not gonna spoil it here. And it is pretty fun to actually fight this boss and fight the mode with just your hands, and you get various upgrades for your boxing hand. This DLC is boss. Okay, to end this, I'm going to, just in case you guys don't know, to format this and make this a lot easier for you. Not only am I going to tell you your thoughts, I'm going to let you know if you should get the DLC with it. Sound fun? Okay, first things first. I want to say the DLC is actually really good for this game, and actually does add context for a bunch of the situations that you will find later. I also like the fact that the tapes in this game kind of show what happens in certain situations and why things are the way they are. I actually do like the fact that the band footage shows what happens to the guys underground in Lucas's trap, and actually shows how smart Lucas really is, especially after he got infected. I like the Not a Hero finally has a good ending for one of the situations that happens in this game, and I like End of Zoe actually has a line regurgitated that actually has some very good payoff, and you finally get to know what happens to one of the characters. Again, I'm not going to spoil it. That being said, I would say that you do buy the gold edition to Resident Evil, or buy the DLC if you can't get the gold edition separately. I genuinely think that you will enjoy the DLC, especially if you already enjoyed this game. That being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your holiday, and this is the last thing of 2023, so all of you have fun.